Okay, so in this case, we are solving a quadratic equation using a quadratic formula also. This is a little bit of a more difficult example because we do not have everything on the left-hand side and 0 on the right-hand side. So you need to remember that when you are solving a quadratic equation by using a quadratic formula, you are only allowed to have 0 on the right-hand side. Every term should be moved to the left-hand side and put in order. X squared first, then x, then number. In order to do that, I'm going to add x to both sides. These terms cannot be combined. They're not like terms. So I get negative 2x squared plus x. That is going to get rid of it here. And then I'm also going to subtract 7 from both sides so that I can move it to the other side. So this is just going to be minus 7. And then on the right-hand side, again, I will just get 0. So I moved everything from the right to the left by basically switching signs. Now I have to determine what is the a. A is the coefficient of x squared. So a would be negative 2. B would be the coefficient of x, including the sign. In this case, it's positive, so this is really plus 1. So that's just going to be 1. And then C is the constant that doesn't have the variable. That's negative 7. Okay, so I will put that here. Negative 2, 1, negative 7. Now, my next step is to compute something called discriminant, which is going to tell me the types of solutions I will have. If it is positive, and not a complete square, then it's irrational. If it is a complete square, then it's a rational solution, meaning it's going to be a fraction or an integer. If it is 0, then you only have one solution. And if it's negative, that's imaginary solutions. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. So computing the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. When you substitute, make sure everything is in parentheses. So 1 I do not have to put in parentheses because that's not negative, but everything that is negative should be put in parentheses. Okay, so I want to compute something like that. So let me see if I can compute that. So this is 1 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times negative 7. Okay, that gave me negative 55. Because the discriminant is negative, I will have imaginary solutions. But let's see if we can form them. Okay, so first let me just fill out everything here. So this is minus b. This is b squared. Oops, minus b. b is 1. Okay, 4ac and then divided by 2a. Okay, so let's see if we can simplify this. So negative 1, that's just going to be negative 1 in here. Now my discriminant, I already know that that's going to be negative 55, and then I'm dividing that by 2a. Well, that's going to be negative 4. Okay, so again, let me also write it over here. So again, negative b plus square root of the discriminant divide by 2a. A is negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. That's my first solution. The second one is going to be negative 1 minus square root of negative 55 divided by negative 4. Okay, so how do I figure out these answers from here? What you need to do is understand that when you see a negative under the square root, if you want to get rid of it, just imagine that that negative just disappeared up in the air. Make it an I. I is that imaginary unit. So I will get negative 1 plus square root of 55, but there's no negative anymore. It now jumped out of the square root and became I. Okay, and then we divide that by negative 4. Here it'll be the same thing. So negative y 1 minus square root of 55 I divided by negative 4. Now, maybe they will accept an answer like that, maybe. But I don't want to try my luck because generally speaking, if the answer is a complex number, they want to separate the real part and the imaginary part. And in order to do that, I have to divide each term by negative 4. So if I take negative 1 and divide it by negative 4, you can do that here. There's no shame, okay? You can do that. That's going to give you 1/4, 1 over 4. So this is 1 divided by 4. Then I'm also going to divide square root of 55 by negative 4. That'll become negative square root of 55 by 4 divided, and the imaginary unit is written next to it. Okay, that's the first solution. The second one is going to be the same because -1 divided by -4 is 1/4. But then these two negatives will actually make it a plus square root of 55 divided by 4i. Those are my two solutions. And let's see if I can type them here. So the first one will be 1/4. So use a fraction if you want, or you can use division, minus, again, a fraction. On the top, I'll get the square root of 55. On the bottom, I get 4. And then I put the imaginary unit, which you can use your keyboard, or you can just press on the I right there. That's your first solution. The second solution will be the same, but it'll be a plus. So again, it'll be square root of 55 divided by 4, and then we put the I next to it.